So, something interesting happened recently. My niece asked me to cosign a car loan for her. Now, before anyone freaks out, let me be clear, I know better than to cosign for loans. I've heard the horror stories, and I understand the risks involved. But let's back up a bit and start from the beginning. My niece, who's 22 years old, has been driving this old beater car for a while now. It's seen better days, and recently, it finally gave up the ghost. The repair costs are in the thousands, and she's decided that instead of pouring money into fixing it, she'd rather buy a new used car. The problem is, she doesn't qualify for a loan on her own, so she approached me and asked if I'd cosign for her. Of course, my immediate reaction was to be cautious. I told her I needed more details before making any decision. I wanted to know what kind of car she was looking at, how much it cost, what the loan amount would be, and what her monthly payments would look like. I wasn't about to jump into something without having all the information. While I waited for her to get back to me with those details, I started thinking, rather than cosigning a loan and risking my credit if she defaults, maybe there was another way I could help her. I considered offering to loan her the money directly. I knew there was still a risk she might not pay me back, but at least that risk wouldn't extend to my credit score being affected. So, here's what I came up with. I thought about offering her up to $10,000 at a 3% interest rate over 4 years. Of course, we'd have to put everything in writing to make it official. A written contract would help protect both of us and ensure that we were on the same page about the terms of the loan. But then another thought occurred to me. I really needed to understand her financial situation better before committing to anything. I wanted to know if she could realistically afford to repay the loan. So, I decided it wasn't out of line to ask her to show me her income statements and budget. I knew she made around $20 an hour, but I had no idea how many hours she worked or what her other expenses looked like. When she finally got back to me, we had a sit down to discuss everything. She showed me her pay stubs and her budget. Turns out, she works full-time, so she's bringing in a decent amount each month. However, she also has some other expenses that I wasn't aware of, like student loan payments, rent, and utilities. After going over her budget, we figured out that she could afford a monthly payment of around $200 without stretching herself too thin. That meant if I loaned her $10,000 at 3% interest over 4 years, her monthly payment would be around $220, which was just a bit over what she felt comfortable with. We decided to adjust the loan amount to $9,000 to bring the monthly payments down to a more manageable level. We drew up a contract outlining the loan amount, the interest rate, the repayment period, and the monthly payment amount. We both signed it, and I made sure to keep a copy for myself. She also agreed to set up automatic transfers from her bank account to mine each month to make sure she didn't miss any payments. By taking this approach, I felt like I was able to help my niece without putting my own financial well-being at too much risk. Of course, there's always the chance that something could happen and she might not be able to make a payment. But at least this way, my credit won't be affected if that happens. This whole experience taught me a few valuable lessons about personal finance and lending money to family. First and foremost, it's crucial to get all the details before making any decisions. Understanding the full financial picture is key to making informed choices. Second, putting everything in writing is essential. A written contract helps ensure that both parties are clear about the terms and can help prevent misunderstandings down the line. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, it's okay to say no if you're not comfortable with something. Whether it's cosigning a loan or lending money directly, you have to look out for your own financial health first. Helping family is important, but not at the expense of your own stability. So, that's my story. It was a bit of a roller coaster, but I feel good about the way things turned out. Hopefully, my niece will be able to get her new car and keep up with the payments, and we'll both come out of this with our finances intact. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more personal finance stories.